interrupt your normally scheduled awesomeness for this important announcement.
Hey guys, it's your friendly neighborhood Dustin here to tell you that you need to donate to Team Murloc for the staff donation duel. And if you don't, I will find you at BlizzCon and I will stab you so hard you're gonna wish I didn't stab you so hard. And remember, if Team Murloc wins, I'll take 2 pies to the face. Yay! Go Team Murloc! Actual stabbing may or may not occur depending on factors such as having boobs, giving hugs, giving Dustin bribe money, and letting Dustin win in StarCraft 2.
Dear Lord Dustin, why do you do this? You listen to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. Now, I want to see a little bit of a representing going on in the channel. If you are in the IRC channel, I would like you to do one of 2 things. If you are supporting Team Murloc in the staff donation drive off thing, put in those little nice square brackets TM before your name. So you type /Nick, open the square brackets, put TM in capitals, close brackets, and then the rest of your name. If you are supporting Team Nubcake, then you type /Nick, open your square brackets, and put NC and close brackets in front of your name. And no, I don't want Murloc at the end of your name because that's too freaking big. And it's far easier to see who supports who if you put it at the start of your name, not at the end, thickos. So yes, let's see who you support, representing in the channel. Now, I've had someone ask me, specifically, whether or not if you donate to the staff donation drive for BlizzCon that you will get Donator Forum access, which is the extra special forum that you normal guys don't see. And has bonus content. Well, yes, you do, in fact. Yes, you do. And what you can do is you can contact, put a little note on your donation and also contact Ariana to get your forum account upgraded. It'll be awesome. Right, I have an email here that I would like to read. It's from our friendly neighborhood Death Knight that we read out from earlier, Shiara, and it's regarding the raiding thing. And he says, Dear TB, I know how you feel on the whole about being sick of raiding, though I haven't got that far in the game. I have got sick of games in the way that you are talking about. What I usually do is change games, like to an FPS. After all, you did the same thing with EVE Online, but you may just need to leave WoW because you're not really sick of raiding and more sick of the players in your raids. I left FF11 for the same reason. Well, I don't know about that. There's some players that I think need to get their ideas up, and I don't like having my time wasted. I think now that I work so much and have so much on my plate, there's one thing I hate more than anything, it's having my time wasted. By other people that should know better. That annoys me. That really, really bothers me. And I do think that's probably one of the main reasons that I'm sick of it. And the problem is there's not really a lot we can do about it. Players are a finite commodity, especially on our server, and there's quite a bit of competition. But it is a shame. Well, we'll see. Now, you can send in your emails for anything you would like to talk about on themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. But for the moment, we are going to go on to a different topic, and this is regarding leveling. Now, there was a quote on MMO Champion recently, or indeed if you use the blue tracker of any kind. There was an interesting blue post regarding rerolls to start at level 55. And this was posted by Scrigel on, I believe, the US forums. And he said a few things. He says first, we've seen requests to add a /level or similar feature before, and that will be a feature that allows you to start at level 55. I can tell you this is not something we have plans to implement currently or in the near future. We believe that there is still value and entertainment to be had in the various terrestrial Azerothian zones. Now he also mentions the changes that they've made. We've changed the amount of experience received from quests and mobs from early level on. That should help alleviate much of the time between levels and make for an overall more fun experience. And he also then replied to, the standard kind of trolling is like, oh, this is all bad, blah, 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 and said, wait, If I was ADD, wouldn't the grind affect me more? I mean, wouldn't I lose interest in the grind even more quickly? That is, if it's as linear as you describe it. Thankfully, I haven't found it to be. I do, in point of fact, have several alts that I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. Playing less than 3 hours a day, I'm afraid. Still, they are reaching maturity rather quickly. The one I'm enjoying the most is a nifty hunter. He's already level 54 and the pets are fun. I've got a gorilla named George, he's curious about things. I haven't found the situation to be anywhere near as dire as your portrayal indicates. As long as I quest, the levels seem to fly by. I suppose that's what you expect from a moorhead, whatever the hell that means. Yeah, that's people on the US forums being angsty as they usually are. Angst. It's an angsty weekend, folks. You can expect to see it. E3's come and gone. Valve announced a game that some people don't think should even be released, and people are incredibly upset about the whole affair. So yes, you can expect to hear stuff like that. A lot. I think people are just in a bad mood this weekend. Personally, I'm not. Now, I agree to some degree with what Kreigel says. Yeah? Some people do still find that kind of thing enjoyable, and yes, questing is the best way to make levels fly by. Grinding is no fun. I don't know of many people that actually enjoy it. There are a few bizarre, highly twisted people that do, but I am not one of those people, and the people that I know are not that people either. It just, I don't get it. Why would you enjoy it? I suppose if it had a really great combat system, then you would get into it, but WoW's combat system isn't actually all that fun. Not in comparison to, say, a hack-and-slash RPG, whereby you can just cleave through massive amounts of enemies. Like, consider this. In WoW, I've got all manner of things, including AoEs. As a mage, I'm like the AoE king. Now, if I drop an AoE, the best that I can expect is to see minor damage on the mobs. If I drop an AoE in, say, Titan Quest, say if I drop a lava ball as the, whatever the guys, I think it's the Earth class. If I drop a lava ball on a group of 10 skeletons, those skeletons will explode. Their bones will go all over the place. I'll have just absolutely wiped out a bunch of mobs in a single blow. And here's the thing. You've got to kill a lot more mobs in Titan Quest than indeed hack and slash, but they die faster. It's more enjoyable just to go on a wanton slaughter, because the combat is more satisfying. Now, MMOs have always had a problem in that regard, because their mechanics have to be more limited to accommodate what they're trying to do. Having a massively multiplayer hack and slash is tricky, and doing it right is even trickier. Diablo did it very, very right, but then again, that ain't an MMORPG, is it? It doesn't work the same way. You can't have mass killing in a massively multiplayer online RPG for the very reason that there isn't enough space to put enough mobs in there for everyone to do that. It's like, consider if you had your Earth Mage from Titan Quest or whatever, and you trained Lava Ball, and you were blowing up groups of 10 skeletons at a time. Now consider there's another 100 people in the area doing exactly the same thing. You need 1,000 mobs in the area with rapid respawn rates. It would be ridiculous. There is a reason why it takes longer to kill mobs than you would expect from, say, Diablo, or from Titan Quest, or other RPGs like Dungeon Siege, Mass Effect, Oblivion, anything like that. It's because a lot of people are trying to kill them, and you can't just have people cleaving through massive numbers of mobs. We've seen what happens when overlevelers, say people who are massively overleveled for the area, go in AoE form. People get very, very frustrated. Now imagine if everybody did that. It would be horrendous. But they were doing it at equal level to the mobs. So yeah, grinding not fun. Questing more fun. Here's the problem. Questing, yes. Questing is great because it's a set of mini objectives and you get a reward at the end. The problem is that doing the same quests over and over again gets less fun. Those of us who don't really enjoy the lore or the background story find questing less enjoyable than those that do, I would imagine. We like getting the rewards and we like getting new gear and stuff like that. But we don't really like the quests, and let's face it, leveling, even after all of the nerfs, takes a long time. It is better with Recruit a Friend. Yeah? Recruit a Friend makes it a lot better. It makes the leveling far more tolerable. You know, I've managed to get a character to 60 with Recruit a Friend, and that's the first time I've ever got a character to 60 aside from my US and EU majors. Thing is, after that, we have to suffer through the Burning Crusade of all things, which... The questing's better, don't get me wrong, but it's not good enough to justify saying, okay, we can stop the extra experience now. No, it really isn't. I'm sorry, Blizzard, it's not. And for us experienced players who yeah, the magic's worn off a bit. We got a bit jaded to this kind of thing. Yes, questing was a marvellous new innovation when we started playing, and we liked the whole press the button, get the food pellet mechanic, but not so much anymore. We're jaded to that. It's not so interesting. And yes, there are altaholics that are able to do this. I am not one of them, and I don't know of many people that actually are. Certainly not in active raiding guilds. A lot of players just stick with their one character. They stick with their main, they don't bother. And yes, some people roll up a Death Knight. Maybe they don't even get it to 80, but they get a Death Knight, get it to 60, do some farming, maybe do some PvP, and that'll be about it. So the question is, should Blizzard do anything about this? I don't know whether revamping the old content is a particularly good idea. It seems like a lot of development time spent for very little gain. However, I think there is a growing group of players, myself included, that are kind of a little bit tired of the endgame. And not because the endgame's bad, just because we've been doing it forever, and maybe would be reinvigorated if we were able to get another character up to 80 a lot faster. And yes, relatively speaking, in comparison to what it used to be, it is faster. And yeah, we also know that the Wrath content is quite good. As questing goes, it is the best that they've put out. But we've still got a lot of levels in between there and there. With Recruit a Friend, that's pretty tricky to set up. I mean, someone else is going to get another account, you've got to transfer a character over to your main account after you're done. It's quite difficult to find someone like that, and of course you do also need to be on at the same time. Personally, I'd be in favour of being able to purchase experience potions that would do the same thing as RAF, but wouldn't require you to set up a new account and all that awkwardness. And I would want people who, say, had a level 80 to have access to that only. It would make sense, right? But even then, you're just speeding up what you already don't like. You're just kind of shortening the grind, as it were. And it is a grind. It's a grind in sheep's clothing. It's a very good grind in sheep's clothing. Or, indeed, it's a grind in very good sheep's clothing. It's very well concealed, certainly for the first-time player, but not so much anymore. Not for us. We understand how it works. We know how it goes. We know it's a hidden grind. Very well hidden grind, but we've uncovered that. However, I don't necessarily believe that the hey start at 55 option is a very good way of doing things. For one thing, you don't learn your class properly if you start at 55. The Death Knight was designed so that you could, yeah? It was like a crash course. You don't have that with the other classes, and unless you created new level 55 starting areas for every single bloody class, whereby you were given talent points a little bit at a time from quests, you were given skills in a sort of compressed amount. That won't happen. Yeah? We're never going to see that. So what you end up having is having to learn a class. It's like, oh, I'm level 55, I've got like 30 different skills, I have no idea what any of these do. And actually, you end up getting more frustrated than you do enjoy the content. I don't think that's going to work. So the question, I suppose, would be, well, is there another way of leveling? Well, there's a few ways. And to look at it, we need to look at other MMOs. Let's start with War. Yeah, this is a very good example. Warhammer Online allows leveling through PvP. And yes, I know, here comes the arguments, twinks, we can't get through twinks, blah, blah, blah. Let's assume that you were able to just turn off leveling in PvP, or indeed, there were different battlegrounds that allowed experience and some that didn't. Now, expanding the PvP and ensuring that you can earn levels by PvPing, in my opinion, is a good way not only to teach the class, but to provide an alternative leveling experience. Questing is fun for a while, but PvP, well, that stays fun for a bit longer, because that always changes. I still occasionally go to a battleground every now and again, and that's after 4 years of playing, and I don't find battlegrounds stale or anything like that. Leveling in battlegrounds, yeah, I could do that, and indeed did so in War, as did a lot of other players. There were a number of things in War, of course, ideas that should in fact be stolen, including the idea of public quests, which are large, epic, cooperative quests that happen on a timetable basis. Like, once you finish it, they reset after a couple of minutes so other people can do them. And you get a massive amount of experience and good rewards and stuff like that. Now, if you're going to add anything to the old school content, I would add something like that, because that's a big, new, enjoyable experience for all, as opposed to extra quests and revamping other areas so that there may be a little bit more enjoyable and a little bit less grindy. Putting in something like that would help. I think there's an awful lot of ideas that would work, but what I think needs to be taken from this, as opposed to a laundry list of things which might work, is this. Blizzard have got to change the leveling experience for people who have already done it several times before. Yes, I know that you've got the shoulders which give the 10% extra XP. Yes, I know about RAF. I know that you've increased the XP, but it's still the same thing. It's still questing, it just is slightly faster. And what that demonstrates to me, and this is what is disturbing more than anything, is that Blizzard accept that their content is not as good as it used to be, and they're giving players the ability to skip past it as fast as possible, and are continuing to do so. Now what that indicates to me is that there is room for improvement in that content via the addition of new mechanics or different ways to level. And that to me is important. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit. I'll be right back after this when we talk a little bit about PvE and PvP, the formula, and how we can maybe vary it up a little bit. I'll be right back after this music break, folks. Enjoy.